They woke up to a nightmare, a funeral wreath on their doorstep, live cockroaches crawling from a box, and a blood-soaked pig mask in the mail. But this wasn't the work of random trolls. It was eBay. Before the scandal, it all started with tension inside eBay's upper ranks. The couple at the center of it, Ina and David Steiner, ran e-commerce Bytes, a small but influential online trade publication founded in 1999. The site wasn't a gossip blog, it was a respected industry resource. Sellers from all over the world relied on it for tips, updates, and inside looks at policy changes across major platforms like eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. In April 2019, Ina Steiner published a story highlighting that eBay CEO Devin Wenig was earning 152 times more than the average employee. To ordinary readers, that was just another corporate fact. To eBay's leadership, it was personal. By early 2019, eBay's leadership had grown increasingly angry with Ina and David Steiner's reporting on e-commerce Bytes. They saw the couple's critical articles as a personal attack on the company's reputation. At the top of the company, tensions were already running high. Investors were demanding results, and executives were under immense pressure to improve performance. That frustration soon turned into something darker. In April 2019, eBay's chief communications officer, Steve Weimer, sent then CEO Devin Wenig an e-commerce Bytes post about eBay. Along with the link, Weimer added a chilling message: "We are going to crush this lady." The next month, Wenig replied with a text of his own: "Take her down." Weimer then brought his complaints to Jim Ball, the head of eBay's global security division. According to court documents, Weimer told Ball that Ina Steiner was a biased troll who needs to be burned down, adding that he wanted to see ashes, and instructed Ball to do whatever it takes. Ball and his team took those words literally. Soon after, the Steiners became the targets of a terrifying harassment campaign. Strange deliveries began arriving at their home: a bloody pig mask, boxes of live cockroaches and spiders, a funeral wreath, and large pizza orders they never placed. Ina even received a book about surviving the loss of a spouse. According to investigators, she also began receiving a wave of bizarre emails, sign-ups from random organizations and mailing lists she'd never joined. The turning point came with a strange voicemail. Someone had left a message saying an order for a wet specimen couldn't be fulfilled. When David Steiner called back to ask what that meant, he was told it referred to a preserved pig fetus. She and her husband began desperately searching for answers, trying to understand who could be so angry over something she'd written online. What they didn't yet know was that the harassment was being orchestrated by people far more powerful than they ever imagined. Pornographic magazines addressed to David Steiner were sent to their neighbors, while the couple's home was falsely listed online as the site of yard sales and even sex parties. Strangers began showing up, drawn in by the fake posts. Packages and threats kept coming for weeks, each one more invasive than the last. Then one afternoon, David Steiner noticed something that made his stomach drop: a van following him through town. Later, it was a car. He grabbed his phone and snapped a photo of the license plate, unaware that moment would crack the entire case open. Local police traced the plate to a rental company where the vehicle had been rented under the name Veronica Zia, an eBay employee. That discovery led investigators straight into the heart of the company, revealing a stalking operation that had reached far beyond what anyone thought possible. 7 former eBay employees and contractors were convicted in connection with the company's bizarre and disturbing harassment campaign. Jim Ball, eBay's former senior director of safety and security, was identified as the ringleader of the operation. He was sentenced to 57 months in prison for organizing and directing the campaign. David Harville, who served as eBay's director of global resiliency, received 24 months in prison for helping plan and execute parts of the harassment. 2 intelligence division employees, Stephanie Pop, Senior Manager of Global Intelligence, and Stephanie Stockwell, Manager of Global Intelligence, were also sentenced. Pop received 12 months in prison for her role in the online threats and intimidation, while Stockwell was given 12 months of home confinement for her involvement in the digital aspects of the operation. Veronica Zia, a contract intelligence analyst, was sentenced to 12 months of home confinement after it was discovered she had rented a vehicle used to follow the victims. Phil Cook, a senior manager of security operations and one of the first to plead guilty, was sentenced to 18 months in prison, followed by 12 months of home confinement. Brian Gilbert, a former police captain who worked as eBay's senior manager of special operations, received a sentence of time served, 1 year of supervised release, and a $20,000 fine for his role in posing as a white knight, offering to help the victims, part of a deceptive tactic to win their trust, while the stalking continued. According to prosecutors, Baugh and members of the security team devised a convoluted and improbable strategy to secretly harass the Steiners and then offer eBay's assistance in stopping the attacks, winning the Steiners' confidence and manipulating them into favorable coverage of eBay. In the end, the campaign that began with a few angry executives and a couple of reckless texts spiraled into a federal case that stunned Silicon Valley. What they endured wasn't the work of faceless trolls hiding behind screens. It came from inside one of the world's biggest tech companies.